everybody. I'm just shooting this video by the ocean today in Malibu, California. But today what we're going to be working on is our psychoanalytic Freudian Lens assignment. So I'll just take a couple of minutes to go through it with you and then you can get started. For the applying the psychological Freudian Lens assignment, this is a discussion post. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to write a short analysis of one of the 3 short stories that are in content Understanding Literary Lenses, Psychological Lens. So you're going to post your response to a discussion as well. You need to respond to a peer, and it can be someone that read the same story as you or someone who read a completely different story. It is completely up to you. Remember that you can't see other people's posts until you post yourself. Your analysis should be just 1 or 2 paragraphs long, maybe 400 to 600 words approximately. That's just a ballpark. You're going to quote the story when appropriate. You're going to use information that you have already learned about for the lens, whether it's Freudian or Jungian. And if you need to use anything that you learn from research, be sure to cite your sources. That's important. After you've completed your analysis, you're going to post it in the discussion and then respond to the posts of one of your classmates. And your response should be intellectual in nature, 200 to 300 words long. And you need to start a thread before you can read and reply to the other threads. Now, I know what you're thinking. What might it say in our course calendar? I know that's always your first thought. So let's scroll down and we can go over together a couple of the frequently asked questions for this assignment. So where do I find the story choices? They are in Content Unit 2, and the links are also here. So your options are Legends are Born and Not Made, The Pedestrian, and A Handful of Dates. So you're going to choose one of them. You can kind of read a little bit of each and see which one you like the best, or even just thinking which one you think would be easiest for you to respond to through a Freudian lens. So once you have chosen it, you're going to look at the vocabulary, which is linked here, and it's critical terminology for literary theory. And when you use those words, it's a really good idea to bold them in your response. Where are the list of questions? Right here. So you can have a look at the questions and see, and I'll open that in a sec once we're done with the questions, frequently asked questions. So how long, sorry guys, how long should your original post be? About 400 to 600 words. And once you have completed that, you can respond to anybody you want. It does not have to be someone who did the same story as you. And how many replies do you need to write? Just 1. You're required to write 1 in order to get a level 4. But if you want, you could do more. If there are more sort of discussion postings that you want to comment on, that's completely fine. So I've just opened up the critical terminology, and you can sort of look through and see which parts you can kind of use to comment on your story. So things like just referring to Freud, using words like id, superego, ego, of course. You can describe any kind of mental health issues, coping strategies, all of this stuff. Maybe you'll refer to an Oedipus complex or a Freudian slip. When you do use that terminology, make sure you bold it in your discussion post. So I'm sure you're wondering, what am I actually talking about in this post? So there are some sample questions that you can kind of think about and answer. You do not have to address all of them. Just pick a few to sort of guide your post. So some things to think about for the Freudian psychoanalytic criticism would be things like, are there characters in this text who seem more controlled by either the id or the superego? Do any of the characters in the text struggle for or achieve ego balance? Do characters in the text seem to be repressing their feelings in an unhealthy way? Do characters, conflicts, and other aspects of the text seem to be revealing of something about the author? Do characters, conflicts, or other aspects of the text seem to be revealing of any deep psychological truths? And number 6, is there a Freudian trio in the text? That is a group in which 2 characters seem to act as id and superego, dominated advisors for a third character, often the protagonist. So that's just some things to think about. And I'm just going to show you again where the readings are. I know that everybody already kind of knows that, and they're linked in the newsfeed, and they're also linked in the Week at a Glance, but I'm just going to show you again. So it's under Unit 2 and then Understanding Literary Lenses, and that is, of course, in content. So I'm just going to scroll down and kind of show you there's a fair bit of reading to sort of understand what a Freudian lens is and the different literary lenses, how you can interpret literature. So just read through that. And of course, as you know, I already went through it in our lesson. So let's also take a few minutes and look at how you're being marked on this assignment and what a level 4 looks like. So of course you want to know how you're being marked, right? So let's go through the rubric together. First, we have knowledge and understanding, and what you need to do for a level 4 is you need to just demonstrate an understanding of the literature to the full extent. So you need to make sure that you read the stories carefully and that you fully understand the characters and the setting and everything that's going on, examined, of course, through a Freudian lens. The next one is thinking and inquiry. So you need to use critical thinking skills in a deep analysis of the literature to a very thorough degree for a level 4, as you can see here. So you need to be very thorough and really pick apart those stories and really find some interesting sort of ideas and ways to look at the characters, ways to look at the plot line through a Freudian lens. It needs to be very thorough. For communication, you need to communicate for the purpose of extending the discussion. So this, of course, refers to your replies and what you might be commenting on for your peers' posts. And this needs to be thorough as well. So it's, as I said before, not enough just to say, really great job on that, interesting perspective, or things like that. You want to ask questions. You want to find out more. You want to further that discussion and sort of push it forward so that you're able to sort of speak a little bit more or understand a little bit more about that person's perspective. The last one is application. So what you need to do is apply the terminology and concepts of the relevant literary theory. So for this one, of course, for Freud, you're going to go through and use those concepts and you're going to bold them in your writing so that it's very easy to find those concepts that relate to psychoanalysis. So that's it. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. I know you guys can do it, and I'll just leave you with a beautiful little sunrise here in Malibu. Have a great day, everybody.